Belly fat is the #1 thing people struggle to lose. It's easy to gain and seems impossible to get rid of. I know this myself because I struggled to lose my own belly fat for years. But then I implemented 5 habits that completely transformed my body, and today I'm going to share them with you so you can do exactly the same. But before I get into the habits, I need you to understand something. You cannot out-habit a bad diet. All of these habits add to your calorie deficit and make it easier for you to lose belly fat, but they do not replace a calorie deficit. You could do 25,000 steps a day, go to the gym 6 times a week, and sleep every night for 10 hours. But if you are eating too many calories, you will not lose belly fat. So before anything else, you need to nail your calorie deficit. If and only when you do that, these habits will amplify your results, stop you from self-sabotaging, and make it 10 times easier for you to lose belly fat. So with that being said, let's get into habit #1, which is eating a high protein breakfast. And by that, I actually mean high protein. For some reason nowadays, everything in the supermarket that contains over 5 grams of protein is labeled as high protein. But what I actually mean is 30 to 40 grams of protein for 3 reasons. Protein keeps you full, it slows your digestion, and it stops you from snacking and binge eating throughout the day. It also makes sure you preserve muscle whilst you're in a calorie deficit. In order to make sure your body burns only fat and not fat and muscle, you need to send the right signals to it, and protein is a big part of that. Thirdly, protein has the highest thermic effect of all 3 macronutrients, meaning your body burns more calories digesting it than it does with fat or carbs. My absolute favorite high protein breakfast is low fat Greek yogurt, honey and berries, and I pretty much eat that every single day. It's like 240 calories and over 30 grams of protein. And then sometimes I'll mix it up and I'll have something like 4 eggs and chicken sausages. And don't worry if you're not someone that isn't hungry in the morning. It's called breakfast for a reason. It's not called morning meal. So whether you eat at 8 AM or 11 AM, it doesn't really matter. Just make sure you're getting a high enough amount of protein for your first meal of the day. Habit 2 is an absolute game changer, and it's probably something you've never heard before. Stop eating out of packets. Sounds simple, right? But actually think about it for a second. When you eat out of a bag, a tub or a box, how do you know how many calories you're actually consuming? Well, that's the point, you don't. Let me put it into perspective. A handful of mixed nuts is 200 calories, a large bag of crisps is 500 calories, and a big bar of chocolate can be 700 calories. Now, I'm not saying these are bad foods, but you need to know what and how much you're eating. And when you eat out of packets, you have no way of mentally registering what you're actually eating. So how are you supposed to track it? So instead, pre-portion everything. Buy plastic or glass reusable containers, weigh out your snacks, and put them in there for the week. That way it's easy for you to grab a snack and you know how much it is. Also, if you struggle to only eat a portion of a certain food, let's say it's ice cream, some crisps or chocolate, then simply don't buy it. If it's not in your kitchen and not in your house, then how are you supposed to eat it? You literally can't. So if you're someone that struggles with that, just don't buy it. Trust me, if you intentionally stop eating out of packets and start pre-portioning your snacks, you'll save around 200 to 400 calories per day. And it's small changes like that that add up to long-term results. The third habit is probably the least sexy, but the most effective, and it's walk everywhere you can. Walking may not seem like much, but if you're serious about fat loss, it's one of the most powerful habits you can have. You should always aim for 10K steps a day. That's going to burn 300 to 500 calories per day, depending on your weight, the pace you walk at, and the terrain where you're walking. Walking is great because you can do it every day. You don't need to recover from it because it's not destroying your energy levels or your joints like other forms of cardio. Not only that, but walking can boost your energy levels, your metabolism, and your mood, all without feeling like a chore. When I first started walking, I actually kind of hated it, but it's genuinely become my favorite part of the day. Personally, I like going for long walks, but if you're someone who doesn't, then break it up into 3 to 4 15-minute walks per day. Stick on a podcast or play some music and just smash out, and before you know it, you have reached 10K steps. Seriously, do not underestimate walking. That one habit alone can make the difference between losing belly fat and not losing belly fat. And do you know what also makes a difference in losing belly fat? Signing up to my email list where you get free weekly fat loss tips. Link in the description, go and do that now. Habit #4 is probably the most simple one, and it's stop drinking your calories. It's one of the most common fat loss mistakes, and it's quietly killing your progress. You could be on point with your meals, tracking your food, getting your steps in, going to the gym, but then you're consuming a 500 calorie caramel frappe latte thing in the morning, a can of Coke and a smoothie, and it cancels out all of the hard work you've done. It's honestly the most stupid thing you can do. The biggest problem with liquid calories is that your body doesn't register them in the same way it does food. They don't fill you up, they don't get rid of your hunger cravings, and they don't signal your brain to tell you to eat less later. These are what we call empty calories. Yes, they provide you with energy, but they don't provide you with any nutrition. It's just extra sugar and fat sneaking into your diet. So what needs to go? Full fat fizzy drinks, fancy coffees loaded with cream and syrup, fruit juices, smoothies, milkshakes, and alcohol. Am I saying never drink these again? Obviously not, but make sensible switches. If you're someone that drinks a caramel frappe latte in the morning, switch to a regular coffee. If you're someone that drinks full fat Coke every day, switch to Coke Zero. If you're someone that drinks a lot of alcohol, then simply cut back. It's one of the easiest things you can do, and it's going to save you thousands of calories per week by doing this. The fifth and final habit is the one that made the biggest difference for me, and it's setting a clear eating window. Am I saying you need to eat in a strict 18-6 intermittent fasting schedule? No. But think about it like this. So let's say you're eating between 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. That's 15 hours of eating where you can graze, snack, binge eat, and just fill yourself up constantly. That is a problem. So here's what you actually need to do. Set a clear 8 to 10 hour eating window. For example, that could be 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. or 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. That sets yourself a clear boundary and creates natural discipline. Also, late at night is when most people go off their diet, so you're cutting out the most dangerous part of the day. Let's be real for a second. No one's going to the kitchen at 11 p.m. and cooking up a chicken breast and some asparagus. You're going for the cookies, the chocolate, and the snacks that are going to keep you fat. A restricted eating window forces you to eat intentionally. It stops mindless snacking and it creates a structure that your body gets used to. Also, when you're constantly feeding your body morning to night, it gives your body no time to rest and repair. Digesting food takes energy, and pulling back a bit gives your body more space to lower inflammation, improve digestion, and regulate hunger hormones. So there is literally no downside to this. Try this for the next week and you'll be shocked at how much easier fat loss becomes when you simply eat within some boundaries. Now you're probably thinking that's a lot to change all in one go. But don't stress, you don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. Start with just one of these habits. Pick the one that feels easiest and most natural to you, and when that becomes an automatic habit, add the next one. Fat loss doesn't come from doing everything perfect for a few days. It comes from doing simple things consistently over months and years. So pick your first habit today, lock it in, and build from there. None of these habits seem flashy, but they work. Trust me, stack these with a calorie deficit and regular training, and your belly fat does not stand a chance. Just remember, you do not need to be perfect. Just focus on doing one of these at a time until they become automatic, and you will lose fat. If you want to speed this up, you want a personalized plan, and you want some one-on-one guidance from me, book a call below, and we can see if you're the right fit for coaching. Other than that, if this video helped, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.